Straighten you out here. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Big John, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Ability Show live. All right, this week I want to talk about some hotel tips. Now, of course, at Disney, the hotels are a part of the fun. And depending on where you stay, it's easy to get to the parks from your hotels. Whether they are a monorail, a walk, a boat, a bus, or a Skyliner away. Now, if you have limited mobility, it might be best to stay at a hotel where you can walk to the parks from. But of course, there are no hotels that you can walk to Animal Kingdom from, which I think is kind of sad. So the only way to get to Animal Kingdom is either to drive there or take the bus. Excuse me. Now, another thing is, if you have a wheelchair, it may be a good idea to stay on the first floor. And at some hotels, there are certain wings where there might not be an elevator, like at Old Key West, as we discovered a couple years ago. But I shouldn't say anything negative about Old Key West since we'll be staying there in April. But yeah, always make sure that your hotel room accommodates you. If you want to stay close to the pool and some of the dining stuff, it might be a good idea to get a room that is close to that as well. And it's also a great place to just leave the parks, go back to your hotel, and just take a break, use the pool. We talk about the pools a lot here on the channel because they are a great place to just relax and have a swim in the middle of a sweaty park day. But no matter which Disney hotel you stay at, it will still be a magical experience. Eric Chavez, this is the Diz Ability Show Live where I'm talking about the Disney hotels. And how accommodating they can be for people, who have limited mobility, and how it's easy for people, use the elevator or be on the first floor. So anyway, that's my tip. As always, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, sadly it's true, Chunkaroo. Eric, you have no taste. Sorry. Anyway, that's my tip. As always, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live, or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. And now it's time for this week's Top 5. So, as a Disney fan who was born in the 90s, I was and still am a fan of the classic Disney sing-along songs videos. Especially the ones that feature Mickey and his friends in the parks and beyond. Of course, I still think they should make 8 new ones. So this week, we are going to cover my top 5 Disney sing-along songs specials. Number 5, Happy Haunting. Now, this was a special this is a video they did during Halloween time. And I like it, but when I was a kid, the magic mirror from Snow White scared the living bejesus out of me. But as an adult, I'm okay with it. And but it's still great, you know. Mickey and his friends and a bunch of kids having a Halloween party inside the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. Obviously, that was before they started doing a Haunted Mansion Holiday. I'm Big John, and this is the Big John Network. On this channel, it's about doing Disney for people with disabilities. And make sure you subscribe if you're a huge Disney fan like I am. And if you're just tuning in, we are currently going over my top 5 Disney sing-along songs specials from when I was a kid. Number 4, Beach Party at Walt Disney World. Now, this was a great special with Mickey and his friends having a beach party. The beach segment was filmed at Fort Wilderness on the beach there. And it was also used to promote like Blizzard Beach and the water parks, mostly Blizzard Beach, especially when it featured a slide that's no longer there, which was a kind of a moguls attraction where people would lose their tube in the moguls, which I think now I realize why they don't have it anymore. And the pirate scene, which was filmed on a ship at Epcot. It was pretty much filmed throughout Walt Disney World, but it's still a great special. Number 3, Flick's Musical Adventure. Now, this was a special that they did to promote both A Bug's Life and the opening of Animal Kingdom. And if you look at the video now, compared to how Animal Kingdom is these days, you can barely recognize the place. I mean, they used to have a parade. But now only Magic Kingdom has a parade, but it's still great, and some of the great songs there, like "He Lives in You," and of course "Circle of Life" at the end. It was kind of an interesting special, and kind of shows how man is perhaps the dangerous animal of all, especially these days. Number 2, Camp Out at Walt Disney World. Now, this was one of my absolute favorites growing up. Mickey and his friends having a camp out at Fort Wilderness, Goofy riding his bike, the Country Bears just pretty much destroying Donald's campsite, a square dance, and a big talent show inside Pioneer Hall, which of course where they have the Hoop-Dee-Doo Revue. It's one of my favorites. Some of the catchiest songs of all time. And my number 1 Disney sing-along special, Disneyland Fun. Now, this is perhaps the special that started off the whole thing about Mickey and his friends in the parks. Because they made it back in 1990 during Disneyland's 35th anniversary. And it's great. And the more Roger Rabbit we have in the parks, the better. I loved it as a kid. But again, kind of like with Happy Haunting, the Grim Grinning Ghosts scene of Disneyland Fun kind of scared me as a kid. But again, as an adult, I'm cool with it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels the same thing. Hi, Ten Kong. So anyway, let me know in the chat or in the comments if you have ever seen the classic Disney sing-along songs specials, and if so, what is your favorite one? And now it is time for Diz or Dat. So, on both coasts, Peter Pan's Flight is perhaps the most popular dark ride. At Disneyland, the pirate ships stop on the loading area, and the ride plays different songs in different scenes. And at the Magic Kingdom, it's on an Omnimover track, and it's all you can fly the entire ride. So let me know in the chat or in the comments which version of Peter Pan's Flight you prefer, Diz, the Disneyland version, or Dat, the Walt Disney World version. And now it's trivia time. All right, so last week we asked, what is the name of the current fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom? The correct answer was, of course, Happily Ever After. Congratulations if you knew the answer. And now here is this week's trivia time question. Which Disney character sings How Far I'll Go? Let me be the first one in the chat or in the comments with the correct answer, and you will receive 100 cool points. So, Disney has announced that a one-shot revival of The Muppet Show will be coming to Disney Plus next year. And that is great. I can't wait for that because of two things. One, Sabrina Carpenter is the guest star, and I loved her in Girl Meets World, and she's doing great with her music now. But also, more importantly, if this special is great, there is a good chance we'll be getting a full revival series. I mean, you all know I love the Muppets. And I think if this goes great, we could be seeing a lot more Muppets in the parks. I mean, obviously, we had to lose Muppet Vision back in June, and I'm still upset about that. But if this works out, and if this still works out by the time... Hi, Meta Edits. If this works out, we could be seeing a new Muppets show at Hollywood Studios. I'm hoping. Like, once Villains Land open at the Magic Kingdom, they can put the Villain Show out of Hollywood Studios and put a new Muppets thing in that area, because I am hoping that this pilot works, and most importantly, that we get a full series of this. And if we do, we could be getting a lot more Muppets in the parks. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Knock on wood. And just hope for the best. That's what I'm doing. So anyway, that's our show. As I said, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live, or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode for this week. Shoutouts. Make sure you guys check out Adam the Woo over at the Daily Woo. He does great vlogs from the parks and beyond on both coasts. Definitely check him out. Also, make sure you guys check out Matt and Goo over at Goo to You. They do great live streams from the parks. Definitely check them out. Also, make sure you guys check out Justin Scard. He does great Random Land videos. and great content from Disneyland. Definitely check him out. Also, make sure you guys check out Jessica and Lewis over at One Low Spark JL and their Instagram, Jessica and Lewis. They do great content on both of those. Definitely check them out. If you haven't subscribed here yet to the Big John Network, what in the Walt Disney World are you waiting for? And ding the bell for notifications so you never miss a second of the fun. And until next time, may the mouse be with you.